head. Stats about 57% versus Terran. Um, like I said, kind of a Zerg map, so it's kind of weird to see a PvT on this, but it's about it's roughly balanced for PvT. Um, so the map won't really come into play, but Stats being a way better player here, I would imagine he's going to win this game and then just hand the game over to Flash to finish it out, maybe even 4-1.
I think CJ's coach has just completely got mind controlled it. Sending out Boyan in this in a match against Stats. I don't know what he's thinking here. If they lose this match, and KT will definitely send out Flash next or something, and Flash is almost like a guarantee win. Yeah, and yes, Flash hasn't played. Maybe the mind behind both coaches is that they were trying to use Boyan to snipe another Zerg, and then the KT coach is trying to snipe Zerg with Stats, and they just end up meeting each other together, and it's a better deal for Stats.
I actually don't think Stats is particularly good against Zerg, so that would be kind of weird. I would have thought, yeah, this is just a weird matchup. No one could have predicted this, so it's going to be BB Young versus Stats. Stats the huge favorite. CJ absolutely needs this win. If they lose this game, then if Flash is going to have two chances to win a game. And when you give Flash two chances to win one game, then that's just really screwing yourself. So CJ at this point is going to have to pull off a miracle comeback, and it's going to start with BB Young of all people. Not looking good for them, but anything could happen. That's why they play the games.
Yep. And the Protoss might just fail once again today. I mean, if you give any two games for an ace player to play, they rarely lose unless they're like Stork. 3, 2.
Yeah, let's actually refresh
1,
our streams
0.
here just to make sure, just to try to catch up to each other. I think I'm going to end up a second or two ahead of you anyway, but just try to do whatever we can. Stats is going to be the brown Protoss in the, I believe, top, 11 o'clock position. And BB Young is going to be the blue Terran in the 3 o'clock position. Not cross map, so a cheese build could work from BB Young. I would imagine he's going to go for some sort of early game play against a much better player like Stats. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Standard play, obviously, is to go for a 1-rack CC, but playing an econ game against a player who is much, much better than you, much more experienced, has played many more games than you, might not be the best decision right now.
My timer says 51, 52, 53 right now. What does yours say?
I actually think I'm about 8 seconds ahead of you.
Oh my god. Can you delay your stream? Because I'm like opening 2 stream, that's why I'm kind of behind. Well, just a second, let me refresh once again. See if I caught up to you.
I can just try to not say anything until about 8 seconds after I see it, which is going to be a bit awkward, but...
Well, that's hard, right?
I can try.
Can you try to unplug your internet connection? Wait, just 1 minute. Let's see the timer here. 1 minute 28, 1 minute 29, 1 minute 30.
Yeah, I'm still 8 seconds ahead.
Oh, better internet connection. I guess what we can do here is just probably you have to wait for probably 8 seconds. Sorry, man. Looks like standard builds coming on from both players, I guess. Yep. Nothing cheesiness coming on from both players. And Stats is going for standards. He learned a lesson from the previous 2 Protosses. And he's sending out a probe scout after the course. So that's pretty late. He's not anticipating any cheese coming on from the current player. And he's building his pylon as natural expansion. I don't think that will be any proxy. He's just trying to scare the Terran when the SCV goes inside his space. You see only one pylon, and Terran goes, oh my god, where's the pylon? And then a Dragoon kills it off. And then the Terran will be forced to put down eBay and put down Academy just to not to die, because they saw something's coming. And it looks like Boyan's going for a 1-rack into CC here. And still only 1 gateway from Stats. Stats might just put down another gateway to put on some early pressure and just go into third base, like we see in the Flash versus Stork game. But I don't know.
Yep, BB just throwing down his bunker now, just playing completely standard. I would have thought that he was going to go for some sort of early play against a much better player in stats, but obviously not. And it's a good thing that you pointed out there. Stats hiding his second pylon. A lot of times players hide their pylon when it's going to be a proxy tech or a hidden tech or proxy gateways or anything like that. But Stats just sort of hiding a pylon just to confuse BByong a bit. BByong obviously has not scouted yet, but when he gets to the base, he's going to be looking for that second pylon, and he's going to be wondering where it is. He's going to have to worry about, obviously, uh, uh, hidden tech. So, like you said, that's just going to be one more thing that's not in BByong's favor. And the Dragoon is picking at this SCV. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it. He probably will be able to get up the ramp and just get the scout. So, just going to be the second gateway from stats. So, not anything crazy going from stats, just two gateways. He's going to have to get that bunker up, get a few Marines in it, and try to get his tank out as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's almost like Stat has let the SCV go inside the ramp and let it see there's only one pylon. And very interesting, Stat put down his second gateway after he put down his Nexus at his natural expansion. That means he will be able to catch up in economy a little bit faster, but a little bit less harassment. In the Stork versus Flash game, Stork has put down the his second gateway way before his natural expansion, and this applies a lot of pressure to Flash. And looks like a starport has gone on for Boyan here, and it might be some dropship play. It could be very good if Stats didn't scout it.
Yep, Stats going for a quick third here. He only has two Dragoons at the front. I imagine he's going to be reinforcing that with his two gateways. Just picking at that supply depot, costing BByong a few minerals here and there as much as he can until the tank comes out, at which point he's probably just going to back off. The starport, I imagine, is just going to be for drops. He probably is going to go for some sort of fast vulture drop in the main, try to pick up a few probes, lay down a few mines, and try to kill a couple of Dragoons for free. It's that kind of advantage that he should really be going for here. Kind of an early mid-game attack is the best time to take down a better player. The engineering base floating north is going to be able to scout the third base from stats, so he's going to have complete information. There's a robo also out from stats. I'm not sure if he's built an observatory or a robotics bay. I think it's a robo bay at the natural, and just a couple of Dragoons at the third base are going to be able to send that engineering bay away. And there's no cloak or anything, so it should just be a dropship. There is a tank out, so there's not going to be any pressure at the front. And actually, it might just be a couple of vultures in a tank that are going to be dropped, which is kind of a weird combination. He's going to have to be very careful with the dropship, just to make sure he doesn't get picked off. He's going to be going for the natural expansion, I believe, going for the cliff above it. And actually, Stats had a chance there to be able to pick off that dropship, but his Dragoons were just a bit away from where they had to be. Now dropping the two vultures into the main to try to run and kill a couple probes while the tank is at the natural, and we'll be able to shell at that.
This unfortunate build order again coming out from our CG players. Oh my god, he's going to put his tank into a dropship and fly away. If I were Boyan, I would probably wait a little more for Stats to put down his pylon ward and his third expansion and just put vultures upper ramp, and because of that pylon ward, he might be able to he will be able to kill more probes, but he dropped at a natural expansion instead. And looks like River has come out for Boyan for Stats here, and there's not many anti-air for Boyan, so he might do some damage. Also, I'll move the mouse.
Able to kill.
I'll move the mouse after this game. It's upstairs. I don't want to run up right now. Go ahead.
Yep. Bibiong was able to kill a few probes there with his vultures, which is pretty much all the damage he was going to do anyway. He got the dropship out and he got the tank out, I believe. So didn't really lose very much and was able to kill a few probes. So a little bit of damage done. Weirdly, he placed all of his mines behind the mineral line, so those weren't really able to kill any dragoons. I would have liked to see him place those in places that the dragoons would have run into.
Uh,
Just kind of sloppy play there, and Stats was able to clean all those up with when his first observer came out. So not really great use of the mines, but again, he did some damage. Didn't really lose a whole lot. There's a Reaver at the third base, and I believe one at the natural as well. So there's not going to be any run-bys from the vultures. So I don't think BBO's going to be able to do any more damage just in harass, and he's going to have to focus on getting an army up and eventually taking a third base.
and I saw the +1 going up for stats, so stats will going to get some carriers out very soon, and they will be able to do a lot of damage if Boyan hasn't scouted. But Boyan has put down several factories. I believe he has gone up to 7 factories, and with the rivers protecting his base, Boyan will not be able to will not be able to do any vulture harassment. And in again, Flash versus Stork, we see Flash scouted uh, the um the carrier attack from Stork, and he just go for like no vultures, no scan, and was able to put out a lot of carriers. I mean a lot of Goliaths, and just completely shut down the carriers for Stork. And I see the Kiran booster upgrade coming out from Boyan's machine shop, so he has scouted this right now. Let's see what his reaction will be.
Yeah, actually, a lot of factories out for BBM, so he will have a pretty big army. That's sort of the thing that I guess he was going to go for is an early attack, a sort of a mid-game attack, I guess, with just a lot of factories. Stats moving out now with a bunch of dragoons and a few zealots, kind of carelessly running into a few mines. I don't think he took very much damage from those. I don't know where his observers are, but he needs to be careful that he doesn't run into a lot of mines. He needs to maintain his ground army. If he's going to be going for carriers, you want a ground army at the same time so that your opponent can't just make Goliaths. But there are a couple of Reavers out, and there are a lot of Dragoons, so it's going to depend a lot on how the micro goes when BBYong moves out. He has a lot of tanks, I think about 8 tanks or so, and a couple Goliaths and a few Vultures that he's moving out with now. He's going to be trying to push towards the third base, and if he can wedge himself in between the natural and the third base and cut off reinforcements to that base, I think he will be able to do a bit of damage there, but he needs to be very careful with his tank placement. There is a Citadel out. I'm not sure if Stats has leg speed yet. Once he gets Zealot leg speed and has his Reavers and his Dragoons all in position, then he will try to, I believe, flank this army from BBYong, since he does have a couple Dragoons behind it at the moment. He needs to be careful until that time, though.
Delay, and delay. That's what Stats needs to do here. He's just buying his time with his Reaver and his Dragoons, trying to poke in and force Boyan to push back, because he has to defend against his natural expansion. And meanwhile, Stats is just using that time to build up more and more Zealots and carriers. Looks like Boyan's army has crossed the bridge here, but here comes the Zealots going in, and the Reaver gets sniped. Zelva is closing in to the tanks. The tanks are splashing against each other, and the screens froze. I think Stats will be able to hold off here. Boyan will be able to hold off. Yes, Boyan was able to hold up, but I don't see any carriers has come out for Stats, so Stats might have changed his plan. I didn't see the flip can either. It might be a fake.
Yeah, it may have just been a fake, getting the +1 attack there, just in case he scanned and forced him to make a bunch of Goliaths. But BBYong has placed all of his tanks kind of far forward, and he's going to be losing a lot of them, actually. Kind of shaky play, trying to cross that bridge. The one bridge is obviously the point where Stats had to try to defend, but at this point, all of the Zealots are dead. The Dragoons are going to have to start backing up, because there are a couple tanks left. and the vultures are pushing forward, trying to lay mines. And if you can get the mines around the dragoons and